I like it. A big question surrounding this weekend's matchup of first-place teams as the Steelers head to Chicago on Sunday. Moments ago, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin said quarterback Aaron Rodgers is listed as questionable for Sunday's game against the Bears due to his left wrist injury. If he can't go, it'll be Mason Rudolph getting his first start really since last year with the Titans when he went 1-4. Great to have both team reporters with us today as they teamed up on Vibe Check, which you can watch on Disney Plus right now. So we have Brooke Pryor, who, as you know, covers the Steelers, Courtney Cronin with the Bears. Brooke, we got to start with you. What more can you tell us about Rodgers?
Well, as we just saw in that video, Rodgers has been practicing with a black wrist stabilizer. It wraps around his thumb. Now, of course, he talked about how it is uncomfortable for him to take snaps in under center right now. So he did a lot of practice taking snaps from the gun. Mike Tomlin said that he felt good about the work that Rodgers did this week, but it's going to come down to this weekend. And I asked Rodgers specifically what has to happen for him to play on Sunday. He says he's got to get cleared and he's got to be able to protect himself. This is not a matter of pain management. It's about his safety.
And that's not the only injury that we're looking at this game. The Bears ruled out their 3 starting linebackers earlier this afternoon. No Tremaine Edmonds, no TJ Edwards, no Noah Sewell. So that doesn't just affect the run defense. And we know that the Steelers can run the ball. They broke 100 yards rushing last week. This is a Bears team that has 22 takeaways and 15 interceptions, both the highs in the league. Tremaine Edmonds is a big part of that. The switch from middle linebacker to the will linebacker spot has allowed him to take the ball away more. Without him, you're looking at DeMarco Jackson, you're looking at Ruben Hippolyte, 2 guys that have combined for 50 total snaps on defense. So very thin at that position. However, we do know that Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon, cornerbacks in this defense who have not played much at all this season, were both full today. They're still on injured reserve. Ben Johnson said we'll see, very coyly, when asked whether Jalen Johnson's going to play.
Right.
I think that they might wait a little bit longer. Remember, they have that Philly game coming up on Black Friday, so 2 games in 5 days might not be the right play there, but soon.
You don't get much better information than that, Mina. So given everything that you've just heard, what's the key to this matchup if Rodgers is able to go?
Well, I think if Rodgers can't get under center, he shouldn't play, to be honest, especially hearing about those linebacker injuries. You already have an advantage if you're Pittsburgh with your under center outside zone run game. The Bears defense has allowed 5.7 yards per carry on outside zone this year, so that's a mismatch, and then you amplify that with the linebackers, and you want a quarterback who can get under center and then play action off of that run game. And if Rodgers can't do that, I think they're hamstringing their offense and also reducing their ability to attack where Chicago is weakest, especially with those injuries.
Let's go to the other side then. I mean, Courtney, the Bears have won 3 straight one-score games. This has been part of their MO this season. What's been the focus for Caleb Williams this week?
It's been the deep ball accuracy because there's 2 plays that they really wanted back from that Vikings game. Both of them were the first 2 third downs. A deep shot to Rome Odunze that Ben Johnson said, you can get away with that one. He missed him by about a yard. You're still getting in a rhythm at that point. And then there was one to DJ Moore that he said you have to deliver on that ball. And both of those were against the blitz. And what Caleb Williams has faced now against the blitz this season was a very aggressive approach against the Vikings. The Steelers, as we know, blitz at the 4th highest rate in the league. 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but he's under or overthrowing receivers 28% of the time. It's about staying in there, taking a hit if it's necessary. On that one that came to DJ Moore, he felt Dallas Turner creeping off the edge. He said, I just got to stay in there, deliver DJ a good ball, because that's one he really wanted back from last week.
We know someone that may or may not be one of those guys creeping in the pocket, taking or putting a hit on Caleb Williams is Cam Hayward, who popped up today on the injury report with an ankle injury. Now, he didn't practice on Wednesday or Thursday. Those were just regular rest days, but he was seen in the locker room afterward in a walking boot. So he is questionable. Alex Highsmith is doubtful with a pec injury, and Darius Slay, their starting cornerback, who is in the concussion protocol, is listed as questionable. Although he did practice, he was limited today. He practiced at other points this week. So the Steelers defense is just as banged up. But when we asked Terrell Austin, defensive coordinator, this week, what the magic word was for containing Caleb Williams, he said plaster because, as we know, Caleb Williams is an escape artist, and as Tara Lawson said, he is a young player on the rise.
I keep hearing Dan Orlovsky reacting to all this stuff. So Dan, because there's so much news, what do you think the Bears should game plan for facing the Steelers defense?
Yeah, the reason I'm reacting like that is that was honestly both well done by Brooke and Courtney. So much information. It would change my pick. So outside of the Cam and Highsmith stuff, I thought that one of the things that Pittsburgh has still shown defensively to struggle with is if I run the football with motion. I talked about it on 2 days ago that this is an offense that is doing an outstanding job of running the football in their split zone scheme with motion. And so this is something that Pittsburgh at the second level has just struggled with for a couple years now. And it's reared its ugly face for over the past couple weeks, and teams have had success doing it. And so if I was Chicago, one, that's something that I like to do with Swift, who's and Nunn guy, who are both very good at it. Something I like to do, and it's something that Pittsburgh struggles with. And if you're going to tell me no Highsmith and potentially no Cam Hayward, this should be a doing that 35-40 carry game.
Okay, so Dan, Mina, and I, when you look at our picks, we're gonging ourselves again. We are all on Chicago, although Dano said, maybe had he heard this report earlier. Why are we wrong, Brooke?
I mean, look, a couple weeks ago, nobody thought the Steelers could beat the Colts, and then what happened? The Steelers smashed the Colts, who I think, have a pretty good run game, if I'm not mistaken. So Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers love being underdogs.
Oh, yes, they do. They thrive in that role. Ladies, thank you. That was awesome.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, I know. It was great. Meanwhile, the Packers host the Vikings in an NFC North battle. It'll be interesting to see how Jordan Love handles that Vikings defense, which blitzes more than any other team in the NFL. Love has fared very well against the blitz this season. He has the second highest QBR and the fourth most passing touchdowns. So, Dan, what do you believe the Packers offense has to do in order to have success against that Brian Flores defense?
Yeah, well, I think number one, they really got to run their offense through Christian Watson pass game-wise now. It was Tucker Kraft, and this is an offense that oftentimes is a everybody eats type of scheme. The reality is Watson has proven since he's come back, he's the guy. Okay, so there needs to be a little bit more of that. I think number two, I'd like to see Jordan get moved outside of the pocket. There's too much of Jordan hanging in the pocket. I want to see him in his spot moved a little bit more. And then I would empty him out. This is an offensive line that I don't think is a capable offensive line of just playing drop back football. I would empty this defense out. I would try to gather information. I would try to get the ball out of Jordan's hands quickly. It's Watson, it's empty him out, and it's move the pocket just to make sure that you can throw as many looks to Minnesota's defense as they do to you.
Yeah, I love that point about empty. The Packers will lose this game if they play it on Brian Flores' terms. Flores against Love, it's been interesting because he's played them in a number of different ways. Late last season, he actually played a ton of man coverage. He's blitzed him. I don't think he's going to do that. I think in this game, he is just going to put a roof on them, say, here are some nice, tasty light boxes, run the ball, throw it underneath. Matt LaFleur, I know you like to be conservative. Go ahead. That would be a mistake. Screens, mistake. Running too much on early downs, mistake. Not pushing the ball downfield against Shell, mistake. They have to be aggressive because if they try to dink and dunk against this defense, I don't think it's going to work. They have not figured that out without Tucker Kraft in this offense, how to get yards after the catch. I totally agree about Christian Watson. He has to be the focal point moving forward.
Dan providing the hand signal.
You got to throw in breakers, Hannah.
Right?
You got if they're going to
three.
play shell, you got to throw the ball in the middle of the field.
There you go. I love it. So you're just amplifying Mina's comments. You should. Sadly.
Wow.
There we are. I know.
This is becoming a Friday thing.
Last Friday we didn't even have one. So
there's only three of us, so.
That's true. There's only three of us. There you go. We need a dissenter. Okay. Coming up next, two of the league's best quarterbacks.